I think we're live. I don't know. This isn't, let's see. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Hey, if we are, then hello. Hello, good to see you. And then actually let me move myself over here a little bit. Hello. So this is just random, but I wanted to, I guess, stream something this week, and I'm going to be busy tomorrow on a secret project. So I thought I would do the stream thing today, and I'm working on a script for video. The challenge that I'm having is that it's I need to finish it today, or else it's not going to get done. So there's a couple things that I'm mostly ready. I got like the introduction, all the kind of fluffy stuff like the outro and all that is ready to go. Man, there's this blower. If that blower is bugging you, let me know. It's always right when you start that neighbors start doing stuff. Anyway, so that's the goal for today. Is I want to like work through this this material. Now, what I'm covering is connecting i18next and React inside of Storybook. So that's kind of like the overarching goal. And my coworker Sean did a really great job of actually like building out the materials, some example repos, etc. But it's not conducive to video the way that it is right now. So I want to kind of like reorder some things to make sure that like it's kind of well chunked, that all of the intentions are in the right place. I'm gonna close this window. All right. And then also I'm just gonna check. I just want to double check, make sure that this is going to YouTube. See Chantastic live, I think. Yes, okay, cool. So we are live, perfect. Okay, I can close that. I think I got everything that I need. So first things first, what I'm gonna do is create a new project for us to kind of like experiment with. So something that I really like to use is the SB, so use NPX Storybook Repro. So this is the reproduction tool that we use. And it builds up a storybook without having to have an app in place first. So Storybook usually will inspect the application that you're working in and kind of make some decisions on which frameworks and view layer you're using. This bypasses that, asks you the questions, and then builds that up from there. So we're gonna hit repro, get going on that. Proceed, yes. So it's asking because NPX will actually download the script and then oh, hey, hello, good to see you. I see someone in there. We'll actually download the script, and then I think I put the wrong window in the wrong place. Sorry, I'm just looking at my eCam setup and it's a little funky. I did, it's fine. So this is just going to run through. It's going to kind of run this Storybook command directly from npm. That's why I asked if I want to install it first. So I'm going to hit React, and then I'm going to use, let's just use Webpack React. I feel like that's the, if you just want something reliable, I think that this is still the best one to use right now. So I'm going to use Webpack React, and we'll call this i18next React stream. Okay, that's gonna take a second. It's gonna build up its business, and then we will open it inside of code. Doop-de-doop-de-doop. Alrighty, coming along. How's your day going? If you're hanging out with me, how's everything going? Bring the week to a close. We're kind of like almost, I mean, at least for me, we're kind of on the second half of Thursday, starting to wind some things down, hopefully. Let me know. Cool, so CD, we're gonna change directories. It did everything that it needed to do. Now we're just gonna copy and paste these. So change the directory, and then yarn storybook. All these things take quite a bit of time to set up, which is a little bit of a bummer, but you know, whatever. It's not too long. This is a bit of time. Okay, so we'll run this in code. Use our little handy shorthand. Pull this over from my other screen, and good to go. Okay, cool. So we got our storybook running. We have everything that we need right here. And then this is, can close that. And then this is kind of all of the material that I have. So let's take a look at what's the steps that we're going to run. So first we have the initial setup. I think we did all that, so that's good to go. Next is kind of the setup for i18next and React. So I'm going to go to the i18next documentation. There's a getting started guide here, and I'm trying to figure out if this is kind of the best place to set this up, or if setting this up is the best first approach. Okay, so what do we end up with? At the end of this component, we end up with, we end up with a single component that locally uses the i18 setup, which I think is fine. I think this is kind of like isolated. So let's go with that. Let me see what's happening in Git first. Also, if you're watching this and it seems slower than normal, or we're having buffering issues, let me know. I'm streaming for the first time in 1440, which is a resolution that I really like because you can kind of zoom in and stuff and still have like 14 or 1080p. But it's not 4K, which can seem astronomical to stream at. So yeah, so that's it. Let me know. So what are we doing? We're gonna open up Git. We don't have anything yet, so we open up. Okay, so we're on the main branch, so there is a branch set up for us already. Perfect. Okay, so what I want to do is add these libraries. So we're going to go through these kind of initial setup steps, and I think I have that linked right here. Okay, so initial setup steps are going to be yarn add i18next. Sorry, that's a little small. Yarn add i18next. So by default, if you have yarn installed, Storybook's going to use yarn. I do have it installed, so it is using yarn. You don't have to use yarn, but that's why we're using yarn right now. Okay, so all of that's there. So I'm going to kind of I'm going to commit as we go. So we're going to add all this and say add i18next dependency. Okay, now the instructions here, I say yarn add dev. I don't know if that's super important. Hey, Colette, good to see you. It's nice and smooth so far. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here. Glad you're here. Yeah. Look, we'll do one of these. Oh, hey. Oh, it's so small though. How'd it get so small? Maybe I can, there we go. There you are. Good to see you. Cool. So let's close that up. Okay, so we got yarn installed so far, and now we want to make a new component. Now this is where things could get kind of interesting. I want to jump ahead and look at these notes and see what the component that we end up with is going to look like. So in the end, we have a component that is going to use these translation files in the public directory to kind of let's see. So use translate, and then it has like a whole bunch of setup to actually pull these from the public directory. But the component file is just going to look like this. And then we have a few pieces. So we have like a title, and then 2 descriptions. What do these say in English? Welcome to React using React i18next to get started. Okay, cool. So maybe we should call this like a message component. It's not really necessarily like a greet. Yeah, let's call it a message component. Why not? Let's do that. If nothing else, I'll just do that as a counterpoint to greet, since I know that that's the one that I used last time, and see if just see how that feels. Okay, so we got that. We're gonna do. So we have stories. We're going to make a new file, which will be message all lowercase .jsx. In there, I want to make sure that I'm following along. Okay, so this is the basic example. So what are some caveats? Before we dive into the first sample, please note that the following by default. Oh, you know what? Shoot. I did not change my screen resolution, which might mean that this, oh no, we're good. We're good. Okay. Oh, no. That's not right. Anyway, whatever. I guess I'll just, usually I have it all zoomed in, which is a little bit more helpful. So I apologize that it's a little, I'm going to have to do an old fashioned kind of zoomy. Okay, so what are we looking at right here? Okay, so this is the like default setup, and we're kind of going through like the React setup. So what else do we need to know? I feel like I saw some. Where are the instructions for this? Okay, so this is the React setup. Okay, so we actually have some more dependencies that we need to add before we get into this. Let's get back into it. Yarn add React i18next. Okay, there we go. Okay, cool. So in the dist folder, you'll find the basic. Okay, cool. So this shows us how to do a basic translation. So this is the full example. So we're gonna go with the full example right off of the bat. Also, I'm gonna make a notes file so I can kind of keep myself. Actually, I can just do it here. Keep myself in the know. So the ideal path. Okay, so we're going to run through this document, which is the React i18 setup. Or i18next setup. Put a link to that here. And the goal here is to create a message component using this this example right here. Okay, cool. Let's do that. So we have now this. We're going to add not all of them, but these ones. Add React i18next dependency. Oh, shoot. I can never remember how to do stuff like this in the GUI. So I'm going to add package.json, git commit, amend. That's just going to add that to my last commit since I forgot to stage it. Okay, cool. Okay, so now we're back. We have all the dependencies that we need. Kind of like slight mishap in the beginning because I forgot to add all the dependencies that I needed. So let's add this message component. This is going to be slightly different than the documentation, but I'm just going to copy this and manipulate it ever so slightly. So we have, so we're going to import React. We don't need this because that's already happening for us. We're going to add i18next and then let's see, even better, manage guides, multiple images. Passes i18 down to React next. Okay, so this is, I mean, this is really just going to be kind of a get it set up and see if it's working type of component. So I'm going to do this without the hook. I'm going to change this to message. I'm going to say export default. And now we're going to make a story for that. Okay, new file here. This will be message.stories.jsx. We'll go into another, let's do the header stories JSX. Copy this much and paste that in. Okay. So there's a handful of steps that we might want to fast forward up to this point. So I'm going to, I kind of like to, and I'd be curious to get your thoughts on when you're watching tutorials on YouTube. There's always kind of this balance of being extremely thorough in showing every single step and then kind of moving through the content quickly. Like, so it's not super important for me to go through every line of this code if the goal is just to show people who already understand Storybook how to integrate these two libraries. And so the balance that I kind of have for that is to copy and paste a lot of boilerplate and then just kind of run through it quickly. So I don't know. I mean, I guess in this case, I could say, hey, this is the example. I'm going to paste in my own. All it does is rename message and remove some of the stuff like yeah. That's an option. I don't know. Always a little bit tricky going through some of these tutorials, but I don't know. Definitely interested in your thoughts, what your thoughts are. Okay, so this first part is React. Okay, so we go through the setup, which is going to be copy and pasting message component. Copy, paste message component. We're going to copy, paste story as well, story boilerplate. So that's that. We have to modify, so copy, paste. Okay, so this is going to be, we don't need this. We're going to change this to message from message. See, like all this stuff, it just doesn't, it's not super interesting in a video to watch me change all of these. I wonder if maybe like for the story part of it, at least, if like a keyboard shortcut is interesting, that feels maybe a little bit more repeatable, I guess, or like live. If I have a keyboard shortcut set up for it instead of like I pre-prepared this little copy pasted thing, maybe. Let's see. So I'll put that maybe keyboard shortcut. Okay, cool, perfect. And then let's see. So all we have here now. I'm gonna leave this. So I'm gonna test if works by removing hook. Oh no, I can't fully remove the hook. That's fine. Okay, so what do we have right now? So import i18 from i18next. Okay, I think it's pissed. Stories message. Let me see if I need to restart this after adding those dependencies. No, I don't want to send a crash report. Broken dependencies. Okay, maybe I did it wrong. Package JSON. We have i18next. We have React i18next. Okay, so what did we do? Module build failed. Oh, syntax error. Let's see, this is for stories. Okay, let's go here. Yeah, there's some kind of syntax error. What? Export default function. Not seeing any red squigglies, which is interesting. But React. Unexpected character space. Just right here. Oh, weird. Okay, so these little spaces. Huh, fascinating. Okay. So example does not copy paste well, that's for sure. What's up, Ben? Good to see you. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hold on. Wait, where's my cursor? Oh man, this 2 monitors I can handle. 3 monitors. 3. That was not 3. This is 3. 3 monitors. Not great. Okay, cool. Okay, so what do we have? Okay, so we have this example now. We have this component. Let's see. So if we have our message stories, we set this up. Let's set up a story. What are we going to call this? This will be called export const. I don't know. Message dot, or how do we do this? Message equals template dot bind. Okay. Oh, I gotta start the storybook server again now that it yarn storybook. Now that we fixed that syntax error, we gotta restart it. Okay, it did work. So it was just the kind of copy and paste fail. Those extra spaces were really throwing it off, or I don't know, some random special character. So we don't have a story for this yet. So what are we missing? So message, it imports message. It's in the same directory. Examples, message. Weird. Does it need me to send an object to it? Let's change this from the, oh, right, because I'm defining message, which is defined in scope already. Lol. Can't do that. Okay. Okay, so what would we... I think I do this sometimes. Oops. So change that to component. I also use the term subject sometimes, which is something that I used to do when I was doing a lot more testing. So I don't know, maybe that's cool, maybe it's not. Okay, so oh, I screwed it up, component. Okay, yeah, so component. But this one actually I want to be message. And then I want to change this to be message. And then that should make it the default one. Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. So now it's just kind of the default presentation for that component, which is a nice little thing that happens if you go through this whole dance of renaming your target component, the one you're testing, so you can name the story a name that matches the story name. Okay, so we have that, and then it looks like everything's wired up. So we kind of copy and pasted all this stuff in, and all that we should be seeing is being seen, which is great. So we have welcome to React is the default if there's not some kind of translation available. Let's see. So let's fill in some translations at this point. So I have a Dutch one. Let's see, yes. And then Arabic. Okay, let's see that. Oh, that did not copy. Oh, maybe because it's right to left, kind of causing some weird things with my cursor. Strange. Strange. Okay, I grabbed that, and then no, that works. Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, so that's what we have. Okay, cool. Let's save that, and then we will go back into our storybook. That works. I'm going to change the language to Dutch. That works. Change it to Arabic. That works too. Now, we're not seeing the right to left presentation here. So I'm not sure. I think, I'm not exactly sure why, but we'll figure that out. Okay. Okay, so what do we have at this point? So at this point, so then I want to add translations. And Arabic, and then I guess maybe point out this isn't supporting right to left just yet. Okay, so that is important. Okay, cool. And then we can demo the language changing back, or whoops, I guess that's a LNG change. Okay, so we'll demo that, and that kind of gets us to, let's see, so Arabic. Okay, so that kind of gets us. So right now we just have a component. It imports all this stuff that we want from i18next, and so that's cool. That's all we really needed to do. This one component is internationalized. So Now, things that were still kind of like what would guide us to, so like, so what's the next problem? Like what leads us into the next section? Um, okay, so what would lead us to the next kind of like interest would be like not, so like global or global public availability. So like right now these are just local to this component, so we can't share any of these messages. Obviously, right to left is something that's not supported. We don't have support for yet. Let's see what else. Yeah, and then this language and the fallback. So like language and fallback are both in the component, so that's not great either. But we do have a working example for this component. So you have to start somewhere. You know, if you're just doing like a welcome, you know, like a greeting type component, this could be great. So I'm gonna reconsider greet as an example. Just because that's a kind of like that example makes sense. In any case, we are seeing it working. So I'm going to commit that here and say add MVP React i18 next component setup. Okay, so that's the bare minimum that we have going on right now. No, I did change that back to English. Okay, cool, perfect. Okay, so if we want to move from the bare minimum and we want to move to, again, we were saying that the public availability of these things is kind of an interesting mark. What's up, Rock? Hey, how's it going? It's Nikki. Nice. Good to see you. Oh, Rook. My son's name is Rock, and so I read it as Rock, but it's Rook. Hey, what's up, Nikki? Good to see you. Good to see you. Glad you're here. We're talking about internationalization, setting it all up in React and Storybook and with i18 next. I'm gonna open the window again because it's crazy hot, and I think that guy who is blowing his lawn is no longer doing that. Okay, cool. So we have that first step, and all this is set up. I think that this step is done. I feel pretty good about just setting that up on its own. So this is where things get kind of tricky because the configuration is a little bit, I don't know, gets a little bit intense. So this allows us to detect the language. I'm going to open up that doc. This helps us detect the language, and yeah, that's the big thing that we're doing here. However, so it helps us detect, detect the language, and then it's going to like reach for it in the back end, just kind of like I think it's like a pre-configured route. Let's see, public. So yeah, load translations uses the public locales route by default. I don't know if that's configurable, probably. I bet if we went to the i18next browser language detector docs, that would be configurable. Yeah. Okay. So the question is, how do we order this in a way that we can like kind of like step through all of this stuff? Okay. So adding a locale toolbar, that's going to be one of our last steps, I think. Moving this out kind of makes sense along with this step to this like public locales directory. Let's see how far we can get on this. Okay, so what is involved with this? Okay, so we're going to create a new file. This is going to be source i18n.js. So we're done with this. We're going to follow this step-by-step guide to, it's funny, it just says step-by-step guide. No, wait, that's the this is the one we want. So this is compare, nope. Mother lover. Okay, cool. So this is going to be setting up the language detector. Okay, so we'll need a good way to kind of break this up into small pieces. So first, I think, is going to be the dependencies. So we will, let's see, let's kill this and grab these yarn add i18next HTTP backend and i18next browser language detector. Okay, so the question that I have right now is if I can split these up. So let's look at this component right now. So i18 use, okay, so it's doing the same. I'm doing the setup just inside of this component. So maybe I can set up this component to do this stuff and then we can move it out later. And maybe we can do it step at a time. So I'm gonna see if we can. I know that we're supposed to do this all together, but I'm gonna see if we can do this one step at a time. So I'm gonna add just the i18next HTTP backend. Okay, so maybe that's a discrete step for us. Okay, and then I'll see if I can add this. Let's see if we can add this backend into the component. So let's see, does this call an init? Yes, okay, so it calls an init and we're going to, okay, so all this stuff is legit still. Okay, all that stuff we still want. We're trying to pull out though is resources, and resources would be replaced with this use backend. So this says use init react i18next. Where is that? That's from react i18next. Okay, so where does that fall? Okay, so this is going to be before this then, according to this documentation. So use, we're going to call this backend, and this will be import. Let's see, where is that? Okay, from there. Nope, I grabbed the wrong thing. Nobody stop me. Okay, cool. All right, we got that. We're gonna use, okay, so now we're using the backend. We're gonna use the React Intel, and then we're gonna like hide all this stuff. Now this should break, and we should see the fallback. If my guess is correct, this is what I think we would see. So I'm gonna let's see. So yarn storybook. Okay, so we go to message. Okay, cool. So this is good. So we have welcome to React. So this we set up the backend. Let's see if we get some kind of message at this point. So this is going to be there's a debug true flag. So debug true. Let's see if we need that to see some errors in the console. Okay, so i18next backend connect loading namespace translate for the language n failed. Okay, cool, perfect. Is already initialized. You should call it just. I don't know exactly what that's about. Yeah, don't know what that's about. Also, do you know what this install state gz is for .yarn? I don't. And I don't know if it's just not properly being ignored, and if I used a different project type, it would. But I've been seeing it, and I have no idea what it is. So would love your insight into that. Okay, so I'm gonna again make these commits as kind of atomic as possible. So we're just gonna add the yarn file, and so this will be add React. Oh wait, is it the React one, or is it just add i18next back HD backend, i18next HDP backend dep. Okay, Nikki, yeah, cool. At least I'm not alone. Thank you. Yeah, I've never seen it before. I have no idea what it is. We could probably Google it. I could probably Google it, but that would knock me off course, and I'm like so focused right now. Okay, so what do we have? Okay, so we added that dependency, and then what we did was, now this is still empty, but this message file we updated to, okay, one thing I want to see about this message file, I didn't actually validate that debugging is the thing that's giving me the message. So if I'm getting the message anyway, okay, cool, perfect. It is the thing giving me the message. Okay, so cool. So so the steps that we're going to take in this step is we're going to add the i18 next HTTP backend dependency, set it up in our message component, and then enable debugging, enable debug true to see that it's not picking anything up. And then I guess before that, we need to remove our resources, remove resource from our initialization init function. Okay, so that's kind of the steps to reproduce this thing so far. Very curious if I can only imagine that if I put this back, it's probably going to be fine. Yeah, it doesn't even attempt to load that. So cool. Interesting. Okay, cool. So it doesn't attempt to load that. Okay, so the question is now, if we're gonna pull this out, we need to pull this out into a file. Okay, so first we get into a failing state. So add backend config, and we're gonna fail on what are these called? Loading language resource. Okay, so then I guess the next, like the leading question is, how do we create a language resource? Okay, now I'm curious if we can just set a resources file, or if it's going to, okay, so that'll probably bring us to this. Okay, so let's just open this. Okay, so I think not. It's gonna put us in this situation where we need to have all this stuff set up. So let's do that. Okay. So we will then add. Oops, that's the wrong area. So we're going to add language translation files. Okay, and that'll be, and that's going to follow public locales, and then it'll just be the language and translation.json. That's the kind of naming scheme for those. Okay, so let's do a bunch of those. So open up a new window there. And we'll create a new folder, public locales. Okay, and that's a new file. Move to trash, yes. New folder. Oh my gosh. So that is a step. Public locales. And once we have locales, we'll just create some new files. We're going to have an English translation.json. I'm going to copy that because I'm going to be using that a lot. We'll have a new file, which will be our Dutch translation.json. I'll have another file for our Arabic translation.json. And I want to make sure I got that right. Translation and not translations. Yep, translation. Okay, cool, perfect. We're on the right track. Okay. So now with this in place, my assumption is that we would, this would now work because we're trying to fetch it from the back end. We'll see. Okay, so and then we add the language translation. So that's under that. There's a lot of things that I don't like about editing in Notion, but dragging and dropping to-dos or list items is pretty great. Okay, so hey Arthur, what's up? Good to see you. So what I'm doing today is I have a video that I need to record for the Storybook YouTube channel that covers the topic of localization with i18next and React. And my coworker, let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. So my coworker has a blog post that's coming out next week, and I loosely follow that, but I'm trying to make it kind of like flow better for video as a complement to their blog posts. So yeah. Okay, cool. Yes. And then Rook, thank you so much. Or Nikki, sorry. DE is German. Yes. Yes. So I keep that I need to get right. It's not, yeah, it's German. And yes, it is confusing. Okay, cool. Deutsch, yes. Deutschmarks. Okay, Deutschmarks the spot. Okay, so that didn't work. So why didn't it work? Again, sorry for all that stuff. Okay, so failed to load locales in translation. Oh, I think I know why. Okay, so every storybook is going to ship with a storybook like command. And by default, it doesn't serve any public assets. So we need to tell it to serve the public directory. And then we may need to restart. Let's try it. That, or I just named it incorrectly. So public locales, I think, which is always a weird word for me. Nope, still not loading it. Okay, so next, loading namespace translation for language in failed. Okay, oh my gosh. I didn't put anything in those files. Okay, let's look and see. I think I just recently closed a tab. What is that translation file supposed to look like? Okay, so how does it know the key that we're trying to use? Okay, so I'm going to look at their React examples. This is i18next React. Source, we're going to open up the, I believe it's the app.js component. Okay, so how does it, what is it using as the key? Oh. Okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah. Okay, so that says description part 1. So if I go back into examples, React, we're going to go back into public and then locales. We're going to go to English, translation.json. Okay, so description part 1. Okay, so we're actually going through. So in this example, we're using a key. So these like key value pairs, and there's this like translation. So in translation. Okay, so I think I want to get to use that first, and see where it gets us. So I would go in here. This has got to be an object, and we'll do something like that. I think. Perfect. And let's reload that. Yes! Super excited about that. Okay, cool. It works. That's awesome. Okay, so we have to, okay, going back, not getting ahead of myself. Now I want to validate that again, this was an important step. I want to make sure that everything is important. And I'm not lying to myself about anything being important. I don't want to have any extraneous steps as we're walking somebody through this. Okay, so we're going to go message. Okay, yes, it is very important to explicitly serve that. And I do believe it requires a restart. Yes. Okay. Okay. Cool. So let's see, add to storybook scripts. So we're gonna add that. Curious, are any of you here using this library, React 18next, or i18next, or are you using something else for internationalization, localization, all that kind of stuff? Just curious what has you here today, what you're hoping to get out of this, and happy to help as much as I can. Thank you for being here and making this video with me. I appreciate your help. Okay, cool. So we added that option. So then in here, we need to kind of move stuff to, or move content to our translation file. Kind of, here I'll probably talk through what's happening, or kind of how to parse the, like, resource in translation thing, or how resource in translation path relates to file paths, because that's really what's happening is that this, so we have so our locales are resources, and then we have English, German, thank you, Nikki, and Arabic. Cool. Okay, cool. So then we can kind of go through and just, actually, let's do this. and grab that, go through and add these. Close that for now. So add those, and then if we go back to message, we'll grab that, and to Arabic. Okay, not like that. Perfect. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, Arthur says, we have Homebrew TS Safe one. We have our design system person pitching a storybook for a few different things. So I'm just sponging awareness around the whole deal. Nice, nice. Nailed it. Yes. I said German when I saw DE. Perfect. Forever lodged in my brain. I'm capable of change. I can change. Okay, cool. So we have that. So this can fully go away. This is totally useless to us now. And we've now properly set up the backend for this, which is great. So again, I'm going to go into Git. I'm going to add all of our translation files. Let's see, what did we do to package JSON? Oh, yes, we updated the to serve the public path, and then in our message we removed all of this stuff. Cool. So now we're so configuring back end with public locales. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Whatever. This is just for me. No biggie. Okay, cool. Now I am curious. We should be able to again change. Why is that not working? Oh, is this? Oh, this is the. Okay, I'm not in a file. I'm in the working tree. Okay, cool. So we're gonna change that to Arabic. And cool, that does in fact work. Okay, this is great. So we could probably demo that if we want. Okay, so and then demo by changing lang. Okay, just to show that nothing changed. Okay, now do I say here that I want to get to a failure? So how do we create language resource? So set up in the message component. Yeah, so we'll see a failure by kind of not having public resources. Okay, cool. Perfect. Oh, interesting. YouTube is showing a watching of 1. YouTube is watching a watching of 1 for me. Yeah, I don't know. YouTube be doing whatever YouTube does. I got a couple people here for sure. So I don't know. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Hope that we can help you learn something today about internationalization with React inside a storybook. So what are we doing? Okay, so the next, the next motivation I think I would have. Let's see what that would be. Would be to finish this setup, which is the language detector. Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit about this language detector thing to see if this is kind of the right phase for us to go to next. Because, okay, so let's see. So let's say we don't have a language. What happens if we just don't have a language? And then we change this to Arabic. It doesn't seem to do anything. How do we get it? Oh, it does. Okay. Now what happens if we change it to, okay, cool. So we can get into a state where we're forcing the fallback. Okay, so if I force the fallback to be a language that is not my own, then I could use the language detector to change it to my local language. So maybe we can play around with that. So in this case, we want to leave it in kind of, I guess not broken, but like non-ideal state. So in that state would be no defined language and Arabic as fallback. Now I'm choosing Arabic just because like welcome and willkommen are incredibly close. It's not as drastic a visual change, so I feel like if we use the fallback language of Arabic, it'll be much clearer when this kind of snaps back into something that most of the U.S. viewers will be able to read. So yeah, that's it. Let's see what's going on down here. Are we all the same person? Yeah, we're just all sharing an entity right now, I guess, according to YouTube. I mean, I don't know. I have my theories about us all being one consciousness anyway, just, different expressions of it. So I don't know. One viewer, three minds. Yeah, me too. Me too. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, cool. So I like this as a kind of not a broken state or whatnot, but a state that we're kind of trying to get out of. So I'm gonna actually commit. I'm gonna commit this because I want this to be the state. So I'm just gonna leave a note to myself. So we're gonna create a state that we want to change. Move away from. Again, and this is something, I mean, I'm going to soapbox just for a second. This is something that is very important for me when I'm trying to learn something, is I want to know what my motivation is for each step. When you go through a tutorial, a lot of tutorials are garbage because they will say, just tell you a bunch of things that you need to do, and you have no idea why you're installing 4 dependencies. You know that it works, but you don't know what each thing does. And if you organize the content in the right way, you can actually know why every piece of it's there. And so that's why I want to go through it this way and make sure that everything that we do has some kind of motivation behind it. And so I think that the motivation here is that, like, we want a language detector to override the kind of fallback language, and we'll see that working. I don't know how to change my language easily to a different language without kind of screwing up a lot of things. So changing the default to a different language will help. Anyway, I hope that helps. Where we're just belaboring all of these setups so much. Oh, nice. Are you following along? And then is it Shubham? Hopefully I said that right. If not, help me out. Let's see. I fumbled with the locale. The browser automatically detects and uses if you don't explicitly pass locale to international date time format, etc. It was a pain. Oh man, it sounds like a pain. I'm hoping I don't have to get that deep into intel.datetime format. Let's see. Inclusion after the journey. Don't be Belgian. Pretend you are a Canadian. Nice. Okay, cool. A lot of tutorials are garbage. Yeah. And soapbox. I'll just leave it at that. Awesome. Cool. Glad I got it. Okay, cool. So let's. Oh yeah. So I wanted to get this in a state that we want to get out of, which is great. So I'm going to commit that. And then start looking at some of what these next steps are going to be. So I know for a fact that if this ends up being the direction that we end up going, we'll need to install these dependencies. So I'll kill this again and add the i18next language detector Yarn add i18next browser language detector. Okay, so that's going, so yarn storybook. Yes, that's right, yarn storybook. Okay, cool. So what we need now is to, okay. Okay, so we still have Arabic here, and we need to, okay, so, okay. Going too fast, getting ahead of myself. Okay, so now we're gonna install the yarn language, or the language detector, i18. Okay, so add this. This is kind of our next big step. Okay, so first thing is gonna be, installing it. Yarn add yada yada yada. The next thing is we need to add it as our. We need to add it to. Oh my gosh, Vim. My Vim plugin is upset. Hold on. Gotta restart this. It is displeased with me. And then I'm actually yarn storybook over here. Okay, your code installation appears to be corrupt. Please reinstall. Oh man, I bet it tried to friggin' update while I was like doing this right now. Reload window. Friggin' VS Code is so aggressive about updating. Relaunch VS Code. Okay. We good? We back? You back? You back in it? VS Code? Okay, cool. Looks like mostly back. Good gracious. I wish it just was like, hey, do you want to update right now? Stupid. Let's see. Oh, yeah, 3 a.m. Yeah, probably not a good time. Yeah, you just watch. Just watch. Yeah, I ain't trying to code 3 a.m. Okay. Oh, hey, thanks. Oh, wait, is that to me? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Is that from like React Holiday maybe a couple years back or something like that? Yeah, I'm so bad at the YouTube thing, but I'm really hoping to get back into it because I love it here. It's so much fun. Yeah, and I will be doing that again this year. I haven't decided exactly what I want to do, but I got this thing, React Holiday. I'm always teaching people how to do React at the end of the year during the kind of holiday season. It's super fun, one of my favorite things to do. And then I always learn something every year about React, so it's cool things. Okay, cool. So we have our message. Again, it's still doing the same thing that we were doing before. This is exactly the state that we want it in. And I'm going to close that file. We installed the language detector. Now we need to configure it. So that looks like this line right here. Does it tell us anything that we need to know? Let's see. Detect user languages, learn more here. Okay, so that's actually probably a helpful URL. It looks like it's right after backend, so that's probably important. Let me capture this URL. Not that one. Language detector. Okay, we're gonna add that here. Oops, I got a message. Okay, so that is a resource that we'll have. Okay, so now, oh no, I grabbed the wrong line. I keep doing that. There we go. That's the one I want. Oh no, I did it. Oh my gosh. Ah! Okay, I have it right. Okay, language detector, init, React, i18 next. This capitalization is so wacky to me. I don't even know what to make of it. I stand by the I. That next though, that lowercase n, I'm not sure how to feel about that. It's so, yeah, this capitalization is really sending me to a dark place. Okay. Okay, so that caused problems. Oh, I didn't import it. That's why. Let's get back to this demo. So language detector. Man, I really think, I mean, there's so many things. I'm probably gonna just, I think it's probably worth copy and pasting these, maybe actually running through these tutorials. Note, copy and paste a lot of code from the tutorials. Man, this is going to be, I think, a longer video than I would like it to be. So a lot of steps, a lot of steps. Internationalization is not easy. Okay, cool. So that's actually, that just worked. I don't even know. That's it. Well, that's actually really nice. Okay, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I just want to make sure. Wow, crazy. Man, I have to say, so far, i18next is a really great looking library. I mean, it just really makes a lot of this stuff really easy. Wow, okay, cool. That is awesome. So that step is really easy. So we import this one, i18next language, this guy, and then we just use use language selector. Obviously I don't have to copy and paste that part. I can write .use language detector pretty easily. Oh, how did I get the domains? I don't know. A lot of people aren't buying .holiday domains, I guess. They're kind of expensive, to be like super honest. I think it's like $40 a year. So maybe that has something to do with it. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't know it's a TLD. People love .coms or like .dev, all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I just thought it was a fun one, but yeah. Oh yeah, finally you can go to sleep. We got everything sorted out. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, so we have the language detector. All that's working. This is great. I am loving this. Okay, so that is the very next step, and that is fully complete. So we package JSON. So we're gonna add this, add this, add this, and this is the step where we kind of add the i18next language detector. It's a very, very simple step. Okay, and then we're going to add this, and this is where we just configure the i18 language detector. Super cool, loving that. Share what kind of thoughts. Could you use Intel as a way to have a super long translation and test your components with longer lorem ipsum, but that makes sense in some ways. And let's see, in one click verbose language kind of deal. I'm not sure I fully understand. Okay. I think I know what you're saying. Like, oh, that's a really interesting idea, if I'm understanding it correctly. So like in each of these translation files, having something like a lipsum and maybe even like a variant of that. And so like that could be like a lipsum, like one paragraph of lorem ipsum, and then you could have like a lipsum 2. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. I think you could definitely do something like that, if I'm understanding what you're asking correctly. But yeah, that's actually a really cool idea. I'd be curious if it's easy to find lorem ipsum equivalents in all other languages. I mean, there's got to be, right? I mean, if nothing else, you could generate your own kind of like sample text that ends up getting used, over and over again. Okay, cool. That step was like wildly easy. Let's see. Okay, so where does that leave us? What else do we need to do? Okay, so if I go in here, see where we're at in terms of, okay. So when I installed this, okay, so now the question that so now all of this configuration, and let me double check this now, should look pretty similar to the configuration that we end up extracting into like a shared storybook configuration file. So let's check this out. So i18n backend language detector. I should probably keep those three together. Okay, so we're going to group them like that for this demo. Okay. Time is it? It's almost 3. Okay, no problem. Okay, so what do we have? So we have useback and language detector. Okay, so Intel React i18. So does that stay? I'm gonna look at my end stage component again. Okay, so that we don't need. I might need to go through this again and verify that all those steps work without this here. Because I don't know what. So let's see, the default of the i18next module is i18next instance ready to be initialized by calling it. You can, okay, so it looks like I was reinitializing this. Okay, let's run the playhead back real quick. Okay, so if I take that out, I feel like we should be seeing my language at this point. Got the language detector. Okay, something went haywire. Not sure what it was. Restart the server just to, get the jitters out. Let's see. Let's see. You have in English US by welcome to English UK. Okay. Yeah. Yes. If I go to the React Intel docs, like guides and stuff, get started. Oh, my computer's running sluggishly. Let's see. Multiple translation files. Does it go into it here? Quick start, extracting translations. Interesting. Where is this? Where is their doc on this? Let's say in US. They have to have it somewhere. So I do know that this language in particular does support that. Yeah, so it does support that if we're gonna go that direction. Yeah, it's probably a little bit outside the scope of what I'll teach, but yeah, you can do the longer, the longer, more specified ones as well. Okay. Oh, am I on Twitch? Okay, so I have done stuff on Twitch before under, so I have a Discord server, discord.gg/lunchdev, bunch of super cool folks in there. And then I have streamed on Twitch under that same kind of moniker. We've streamed stuff. It's been a while though. We usually stream stuff as a group there. I don't know. It's possible that I may try again on streaming to Twitch personally. I just don't know what to kind of name the channel because I can't get Chantastic. So that's always a problem for me, and it's one of those things that if I can't get the name that I want, I don't like thinking about it. So yeah, hopefully that answers that. Let's see. There exists a fake kind of language for that purpose. Forget the name. It has many characters too. Its goal is dev font while doing i18 dev. Oh, interesting. That's really cool. So you can kind of like see it more as like less as words and more kind of like as a concept, maybe. Very interesting. All right, let's see where we're at. Okay, did this start working again? Am I still seeing Arabic? Okay, so why am I still seeing Arabic? I don't think I changed anything between my last. Uh, okay, so what did we change? Oh, I changed the order of things. The order of my imports. I think that's it though. Not sure. Not sure why that would do anything. But let's try putting it back. Yeah. Let's look at these examples again. Language detector. Okay, let's also, I know we're in debug mode, so maybe it is giving us information. Okay, so it did not complain that time. Clear filters. So i18next backend connector loaded namespace translation for language Arabic. Okay, so welcome to React. Okay, language changed to Arabic. It was changed to Arabic. Interesting. So obviously if I change that, it's going to say language change. Let's see, note, I'm gonna say note console messages in here as well. Oh, spelling. Let's see, language change. Okay. Man, that's super frustrating. I just don't even know how to. Wait. No, it's not doing it. I got into a weird state somehow. It's like all I can. Yeah. Okay, so it's loading Arabic, and now it's changing to the language of English. That's what I expected it to do all along. So I don't know why it's not doing that. Um, Frustrating. Okay. Cool, 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 cool. Yeah, didn't get the domain name I needed. Can't build the project. Sorry. Yep. Totally. Yep. I guilty. Guilty. Yeah, cool. Like alarm Ipsum. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Long words, short words, nice. Meant to catch edge cases. Oh yeah. That is something. That's something I actually like to build a video around about using Storybook to kind of document some like edge cases or like corner cases or things that are actually more common than we think, especially when we're doing internationalization or dynamic content. It's a big important thing that we don't talk about a lot. Awesome. Shubham, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support and input. Appreciate it a lot. Yeah. Yeah, and this stream will be available later. That's one thing I actually really prefer about the YouTube thing is it just kind of like goes on to the timeline. So yeah, you can check out the rest later. Yeah, looking forward to having you along for React Holiday. It'll be super awesome. And yeah, join our Discord server if you want to hang out with some super dope people. Okay, so this is acting the way that we want. Back into it. This is acting the way that we expect it to now. I don't even know what to say. I hope that it just, kind of stays that way. So we're really in the position now where I want to take the step of extracting the configuration from the component to a globally shared space inside of Storybook. So the next goal is to extract. Now this doesn't have. I mean, If this were in the middle or beginning of a tutorial, I might set up a couple extra components to kind of show us taking advantage of this. Given that it's kind of the end and we're really just reorganizing this, I think the motivation is probably clear enough that we don't want this inside of this component. I'm very open to that not being the case if you think that we should have another component to demonstrate why this is useful. But I think I can just say this as we internationalize or localize more components, we're going to want to share this configuration. So let's move it out into a place where multiple components can, all of Storybook can use it. I feel like that's a pretty easy thing to communicate. So let me close these up so I can kind of see where I'm at again. So, and then I did make a change to this file. I want to, so group like this for easier extraction. Okay, now I am going to, so I got lost last time in this changing when I removed this, and I'm not sure why it changed. Now it's interesting, I'm unsure why I'm required to do it here, but then in the when I move the configuration out in the examples that I have below, that's no longer needed. Like I don't think I need that thing anywhere. So let's see what happens. I'd like to be able to describe why we don't need it anymore. Okay, so we have, oh shoot, I added both files. Okay, whatever. So we're gonna, no, I do want to change that. Just for my own notes. Get reset, head, 1. Okay, cool. And then what did I have? Ooh, gotta close the door real quick. Okay, so I'm gonna check messages, make sure that no one was trying to get a hold of me while streaming. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Okay, so what did we want to do? I wanted to add this message. Okay, so group like this for easier extraction, and I just want that file, and then we'll actually go through and make that change. So the file that we want to open here is i18. We're going to create this new file. We're going to pull out everything that is there. Okay, like that. And then that matches my expectations here. Here, I don't think we need this line anymore. I don't know why. I don't know why we don't need that line anymore. But we don't. So, or at least it worked last time without it. So where does that get us with this? Something died. Oh. Our storybook. Okay, message. Okay, so it is not loading that translation. So maybe I do need it. Okay. Oh, right. So now I need to connect it to, I need to import this. I'm not importing this configuration anywhere. So where are we going to do that? In the preview.js file. Preview.js. Okay, so so we're going to extract config to i18n.js source. Okay, whatever, close enough. And then we're going to import that into preview.js. Okay. How does that look? We're going to import it like, import it like that. Oh, right. Okay. So we don't need to run that same function, I don't think, because yeah, we're using the i18next provider Okay, so we're gonna swap. So we're swapping. Let's see, what was the name of that function we removed? Init React. So we're swapping that for the provider. Blech. Nope. Oh my gosh. Keyboard, drive me crazy. I mean, my fingers drive me crazy. For the, what is it? What did I say it was? The i18next provider. Again, that capitalization just throwing me. It is throwing me for a loop. Okay, so we have this. I don't know the right way to order that, but you know, we'll do our best. Okay, so we're going to import i18n, and then we're going to create a wrapper. So see, I did it differently. i18next. Wait, no, we're going to create with i18next. This is going to be a like higher order component or like decorator. I think decorator is the language, the storybook language, so I'll use that. So we use create a with i18next decorator, and then we will wrap it. So, and that's going to wrap with suspense. Okay, so what are the notes here? This catches suspense from components not yet ready, still adding translations. Okay. Oh, gotcha. Okay, so this will say loading translation, I guess. And then alternative, set use suspense to false in the React. So i18 options, we're initializing. Okay, cool. That's fine. We'll just go with this. Okay, so I'm just gonna write this out. I really don't like function expressions, so I'm gonna do it without i18next. So that'll be what, story? I mean, I don't think we have to like bind this or anything crazy, so it should be fine. So we're gonna turn a component. Just want to make sure that I know all of the pieces of this. So this will be suspense. That changed for me, which is really nice. Fallback equals div loading translations ellipsis div. Then we will close our suspense. Oh, again, fingers. What my fingers doing? View quick fix. I guess I don't need that. Doesn't like it for some reason. Okay, and then we're going to use the i18 next provider. It's going to import that for me. Very nice. And then our i18n uses our i18n configuration that we set up, and then we're going to render the story inside of that. Okay, so save that. That's all good. And then we just need to export a named export of decorators, and that will be with i18 next. Okay, so let's save that. Hit refresh. Still didn't work, but we're seeing all of this magic happen. Maybe I need to restart. Starting to fatigue, so I might need to wrap this up. Okay, i18next initialized. Okay, so we're seeing that it is initialized. You need to pass the i18next instance by using init react. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go to GitHub. We're gonna go to i18next React i18next. We're gonna find some examples. This is Sean Lloyd who built the tutorial that I am working through. We will go to React. Oh no, Storybook is what we want. So Storybook. Okay, so now let's look at these configuration files. We have source i18n.js. Okay, so what is it doing? Okay, it is still using that. Oh my gosh, I am an idiot. Okay, so we're not swapping that at all. I just didn't copy and paste, right? So this is not true. Also, that's in the wrong spot. I kind of... oh, I'm deleting it anyway, so it doesn't matter. So wrap with suspense, and then wrap with i18next provider. Okay, and we're gonna export decorator. Okay, so got to go back into, okay, so we're not gonna touch this line at all. That stays. I was just losing my mind for a second. Okay, Storybook export default import i18next was not found. Okay, so source. So where is this? Is it in the right spot? So preview, it's going to go out one directory. It's going to go up into source, and then i18n. That should be fine, except I don't export anything. So how do we do that? Export, 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 export. Where's my example? How are we doing this? Yeah, export i18n. I think I can just export like that. Can I do that? Guess not. I'm gonna do like an export. Can I do an export default const? Okay, again, we're gonna look at Sean's example. What does that config look like? Nope. GitHub.com/i18. Okay, so interesting. Oh, so i18 is already defined. We're just kind of hanging some extra stuff off of it. And then, got it. I see. 18n. Okay, perfect. Makes sense. This needs to go back. It's hanging. See if we can get any insight from our console. No. Why is it hanging? Export default i18n. We've added that back in. Nothing should be hanging. Failed to load resource. The server responded with 404. Can't find variable i18n react. That's right, because we removed it when, man, struggle bus. Struggle bus. It was in our message component. There we go. Compiling, go to message. We got it. Showing the right language. If we turn off language detection, yes, perfect. If we turn off the back end, perfect, fails. Okay, great. Okay, this is looking good. Okay, is there anything else that needs to change from this perspective? Okay, so we have that. We're importing it. So it's a lot of... It's a lot of steps. I'm wondering if I could, instead of preview, if I could import this. If I can import, man. So that's a big question. Is like, how do I want to orchestrate this change now? Do I want to kind of do all of it at once? There's just a bunch of steps involved in this, but I could just kind of make a decorator for this one component. Okay, so let's say that the first step is just extracting this, and we don't want to do any of this decorator business yet. Okay, so we're gonna take that out. We will, I think, so all that goes back. We can still create our source file like that, and we will, so here, we'll say import i18n from source i18n, perfect, just like that. And then it's not a function. So here we would need to, okay. So in this case, what if we just change this function to do all of this now? Oops. Okay, oops, come on. Don't fail me now. Okay. Okay, so we'll import suspense, use translation, i18. Okay, I think that's all we need. i18 provider, i18next provider, okay. Okay, cool, that works. Okay, so now we have i18n, and we can, let's see if we, language detection off, yes. Backend, yes. Okay, cool. So we've extracted this. So we've made a really small step, which we just extracted this and we inserted the provider. Okay. So we don't want to do this yet. So we're going to extract to a source i18n file, and then wrap the whole thing in suspense. And let's see. So this part of it is the part that changes. Okay. So it's going to be wrapped in suspense. It's going to be wrapped in the i18 provider. And now this other part is kind of a discrete step. So if we want to add this to all of our components, we can do so with a decorator inside of Storybook. So actually, let's do this. So delete, oops, delete to the top and delete down and save. And then that should be a fairly isolated change. Okay, whatever. Okay, cool. So this and this represent us extracting config into i18 or 18n file. File. Let's call this a shareable 18n file. Okay. Okay, so we're going to commit that, and then we'll go back into our preview file. Preview.js, and bring. Oh shoot! Oh, okay. Whatever. I made it. Oh, I made it go away. Okay, now what that does is, so the motivation is we don't want to have to wrap every component like this. So let's see. See, so the motivation is that we don't want to wrap component. We can simulate an application-wide wrapper with a decorator. Okay, cool, perfect. Okay, so that is great. We can get rid of that. We can get rid of, oh, no, like that. Okay, and then once we save this, now we're gonna see that same effect, even though we have the code, apart from the exact line that we need, the user translation thing, all extracted from this component file, which is huge. Okay, cool. So let's see, preview. Okay, cool. So wrap files in translation provider at storybook level. Okay, cool. Okay, so I think, oh man, there's more steps. I forgot about this. Oh my gosh. This is gonna be crazy. Okay. Well, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Okay, so we have that. I think that we have done all this stuff now. So we have that, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. Okay, so we have that. Okay, I do like the order that I kind of have this stuff in. That's super helpful, and I'm glad that we're sorting out the details of actually making it work in that order, which is nice. Okay, cool. So this part of it, I need to see, there was some extra trickery, I think, involved in, well, we'll just kind of go through this. So in our, I believe it's the main file now, or maybe this is, yeah, preview.js. Okay, so preview.js, we're going to do something a little fun now. So we want a way to control this, and we're going to add some, it's called a global type. So we're going to export another, or global types. Okay, I'm going to export global types. Locale is going to be, oh, and so this thing is called locale. There's going to be a kind of like a minimum viable product here, so I'm just going to put all this stuff in. So we'll give it a name, which is locale. This is going to show up in the toolbar, and it's going to have a handful of items, and that item, for now, can just be empty. When we go into Storybook, we can see that that added a kind of locale dropdown for us, which is really cool. Now it doesn't do anything, it just says loading state right now because there's no options in there. But we can start to configure that. So I'm going to configure that in a few ways. So first I'm going to change the items to have like that. So I'm going to change the items to have values N, D, E, AR, and then some kind of customization. So let's just add those real quick. They're not going to do anything yet, but we'll be able to see those. And then we can see these show up in the URL, which is really cool. So that's a way to confirm that something is changing. So I'm going to add a couple steps for this. So setup toolbar. So boilerplate, so show boilerplate, plate required. Paste in 3 options. And we're going to show that those change the URL. Okay, so those change the URL. I'm not really gonna go into. I'm gonna void all of the optional config for now. Well, maybe shout out to future video on that. Okay. Oh, here it is. Okay, so you know what? I am going to say I do want to use this option show items, show name true, because that will change the name in the toolbar when one's selected, I think. If I get the property name right. So show name true, and it's in the toolbar, not in the items. Show name true, English. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? Show name true. Having a hard time right now. What's going on? What's going on? Why? Pretty sure. Let's see. Let's do storybook, global types, show name, toolbars and globals. Oh, show name, it is showing the name. It's dynamic title true. That's the one that I want. Okay. There we go. Okay, English. Perfect. Okay. Cool. So now how do we hook it up? Okay, so this is the first step, which is just okay, so that's the first step. Okay, so now how do we hook this up? Okay, so we have this. Now I know that there's a tiny little function. Where is that little function that actually shows how to hook this up? I must not have recorded it, so I'm going to go once again to Sean's repository and kind of check out what I've missed so far. So we have storybook examples. Let's see, we're going to go into the storybook. We're going to go and jump into preview JS and then see what's missing here. Okay, so I think what we're looking for, I think we're importing everything that we need, is this one right here. So when the language changes, set the document direction. Oh, and we need to update our i18 story, i18next story decorator. Okay. So this one I think is like supplementary. Okay. And then this one, this is going to be a hook. Okay, so context globals. Okay, gotcha. Yep. Okay, so we're going to have to, man, this gets deep. Good work, Sean, by the way. Okay, so we're going to pull this out of context, storybook context. Const locale equals context dot globals. Globals. Okay, so we've set the globals. Now we need to get the globals. And then we'll use an effect, i18n change language locale. And then like if it changes, we want to have that be as part of the inputs. So then let's see. Oh, it doesn't like that. Use effect. Use effect. Okay, so I'm probably gonna, I don't know. See how that goes. So note to self. Prefer star as React, so I can just kind of add stuff later. So that'll be in the wrapper boilerplate. Okay, cool. So we have that. Okay, cool. So if that's all in place, now I should be able to change the language here, and we get that. Very, very cool. So we're looking good there. So that is the what we need to do that. Would add this, which is configure. What is this decorator storybook decorator to change when language changes. And we can point out that we see the events in the logs. Okay, so like right here, if I open up logs and we just see all interesting. Show name is deprecated. Oh, so I don't want show name. Okay, clear filters. Okay, so it's going to say, welcome to React. Okay, so I just want to see, how do I change okay, logs. Okay, cool. Let's see, I'm going to add that to a note to self. Note to self, logs, and warnings enabled. Okie dokie dokie. So we got that. We got this. Okay, so it's gonna say, it should say that it's loading Arabic. Yes, loading Arabic. Language is changing to English. Okay, cool. So we got that. So we're seeing this kind of on change effect happen in real time. So we got that. Let's see. Don't use show name. It's deprecated. I spelled that wrong. Okay, so don't use show name. And then kind of this final step that we're going to do is handle right to left. Now I'm wondering, this should probably, I'm going to say this should be handled earlier. Pretty confident of that. So basically, as soon as we start touching the preview file, we should start handling right to left. So is that the motivation for like using a preview file? I don't know. Good question. I don't know if I can do that at a component level. So yeah. let's see. So what I'm going to do, go back to Sean's example here. So when the language changes, set the document direction. Okay, so this is going to happen. Yeah, this has to happen at the preview level. Now, the question that I have here is I have this use effect. I guess maybe do I not have access to the direction or that document? Because it seems like I should be able to just kind of be able to use that there. So let's see. So i18, because we're using this i18 direction. I'm super curious if we can do this here. So we change this. Yeah, it does change the direction. Okay, I'm gonna ask Sean if that is if there's a reason that we can't handle it in that callback, because if there isn't, we could handle that a lot earlier. It would be better, I think. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Honestly, that's it for today. I think. I mean, I think that we have everything we need, and yeah, I think that's that's good. I think we're good. So anyway, that's it. This has been a super long stream, and I know there's been like kind of a lot of details or whatever. I do hope that it was available. I hope that it was good for you. I hope that this can help you as you kind of sort out some of these own things if you're working with i18 next or just setting up global types in Storybook. Yeah, that's it. If you're still hanging out, thanks for being here. You're awesome, and I hope that we will see each other again soon. I'll see you on the next one, and I'll start uploading more videos soon. Cool. Peace. Bye. Now I just got to figure out how to close this thing. Preview mode, finish. Okay, cool. That's it. Bye.